Hey gang, today we want to talk about triangles. Okay, triangles, polygons. Remember, polygon is a plane figure. Plane meaning flat. Okay, has length, has width, but has no height. It's got to be a figure with straight sides, and the sides have to be closed. That's what makes it a polygon. Triangles are figures that have three sides. They also have three angles. Hence the name triangle. Tri, T-R-I, means three. Like you ride a tricycle when you're little. It has three wheels, right? Tricycle. Or triangle. A polygon with three sides and three angles. Okay? Let's talk about angles first. An angle is when you have two lines or line segments and they share the same point. Okay? I have these two yardsticks and they share the same point here and they create this space. And that space is called an angle. Now, depending on how that angle opens, it has a different kind of name. Some angles are very small or narrow. Some are very wide. Okay, you have a very wide angle like this. And some make a perfect square corner like this. And whatever kind of angle you have, it has a different kind of name. All right, that very narrow one, or the pointier one like this, okay, that narrow one is called an acute angle. And the way I always remembered that, being acute, is usually small things are cute, right? Small dogs, puppies, small cats, kittens, right? Small children, all right? Oh, cute little puppy, right? So this is a cute little angle. It's an acute angle. It's a small one, okay? All right. Then when you get bigger, okay, when it opens wide like this, that's called an obtuse angle. That's an obtuse angle. And then when you get that perfectly square corner, right, like this, it looks like a letter L, okay? When you get that perfectly square corner, that is called a right angle. A right angle. Now, I know what you're thinking. If there's a right angle, there's got to be a left one, right? No. Nope. No such thing as a left angle, okay? All right, in this case, the word right means, I think, the perfect, like a perfect square. It's right, okay? So it could be this way. It could also be that way, okay? It could also be that way, okay? As long as that angle is the same, that's a right angle. So there is don't ever say left angle because there isn't one, okay? So three kinds of angles: acute angle, obtuse angle, and right angle. Now the way you kind of determine those, you always want to compare them all to the right angle. If it's smaller than a right angle, that's acute. If it's bigger than a right angle, that's obtuse. So you always want to look at that right angle. Is it bigger than the square corner? Obtuse. Is it smaller? Acute. Okay? All right. So now we're going to take a look at our triangles. Now we can name triangles based on two things. We can name them based on their sides, or we can name them based on their angles. And we're going to start with the sides. Okay? There are three sides to every triangle. If you have all three sides that are the same length, okay, then that gives the triangle a specific name, like this one. All three sides are the same. All right, this is called an equilateral triangle. Okay, that is an equilateral triangle. Equa, that beginning, equa, sounds like equal, sure, okay, because the sides are equal in their length. Lateral, that word lateral, it means sides, okay? Equilateral, equal sides. The sides are all the same. That's an equilateral triangle. The next kind of triangle will have two sides that are the same, okay? These two long sides are equal in their length, okay? And you have one side that's different. When you have two sides that are the same, that's called an isosceles triangle. All right, that's an isosceles triangle, where it has two sides that are the same. And then the third kind is when all three sides are different. None of the lengths match. You have three different length sides, and that is called a scalene triangle. That's a scalene triangle. All right? So if they're all the same, equilateral, equal sides, equilateral. If two are the same, isosceles. If they're all different, scalene, okay? And it's just going to take practice looking at triangles and saying, oh, that's a scalene, that's isosceles, that's a right, or that's an equilateral triangle. All right. So I told you can name them based on their sides. You can also name a triangle based on its angles, okay? Now, let's talk about this for just a minute. Every triangle is going to have at least two acute angles. It has to have two acute angles, and here's why. If you had two right angles, I gotta make sure I can fit on the screen here. If you had two right angles, it wouldn't close on the top, okay? It wouldn't close, okay? It would just be like a giant U. If you had two obtuse angles, it would be even worse. It would never close. You've got to have two acute angles to make the top close, okay? So you've got to have two acute angles. Now, the third one is how we name the triangle. It's based on the third angle, because that third angle could be acute, obtuse, or right. Take a look at this triangle I have down here. I told you we're going to have at least two acute angles. So here they are, okay? There's one acute angle. There's the other acute angle. See, they're small, but look at this one. This one has the square corner. What kind of angle is this? What kind of angle is that? That's a right angle. So this is called a right triangle. That's a right triangle, okay? Look at this one down here, okay? Let's see if we can name the angles that we have on this one. This is an acute angle. This is an acute angle, because, right, they got to be acute so it can close. Now look at this one at the top. Well, heck, that's also an acute angle. So if all of them are acute, then this is an acute triangle. And I bet you can already guess what the last one's going to be. I hear you. I know what it is. I know you do. All right, let's look at this one. Can you find the acute angles? I said there's got to be at least two, right? Look at how small this one is. That's an acute angle. Look at this one. That's an acute angle. But look at this big one down here. Look how wide that opens up. That opens up. That's an obtuse angle, and that's an obtuse triangle. That is an obtuse triangle. All right, so when you get a triangle, you can then try to name it based on its sides. If they're all the same, equilateral. Two are the same, isosceles. They're all different, scalene. Or you can name it by their angles. Right triangle with a right angle. Acute angle where they're all acute, or an obtuse triangle where one angle is obtuse. So if I drew one more, I think I have space where you can see. If I drew another triangle out here, let's see if we can name it. All right, look at this triangle that I drew. Let's start with the sides. Do they all look equal? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's an equilateral triangle. They don't all look equal to me. Do two of the sides look the same? Not to me either. They all look different, don't they? So what would it be? Which kind would it be? Would it be equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? That's a scalene triangle. Okay, that is scalene. All right, let's look at the angles on that one. Okay, remember, everyone's going to have at least two acute angles, so let's find those first. That one's acute. That one's acute. Look at that one. What kind is that? Is that one acute? Is it small? Is it a perfect square, or is it big? Which one is that? That's a big one, isn't it? So that's an obtuse angle, so that's going to be an obtuse triangle. So this is a scalene obtuse triangle. We can name it by the sides, or we can name it by the angles. Okay? Guys, it's just going to take practice, so you can watch this again and again. All right? And that way you'll learn to memorize them, and you'll learn to identify them based on their sides and their angles. Okay? Keep working hard. The harder you work, the better you're going to be. I'm proud of you.